Retirement is really a great period of life. And because we specialize in retirement planning, we know a lot of retired people. For some, they use this period of life as a way to simplify and declutter. And it feels like a natural progression when you get to that point and you start to, we've seen it time and time again with people who are newly retired to start to kind of just simplify life, which is really good. But in this video, I want to share 5 things that clients say are the most important things to own or maybe purchase to make retirement even better. For some of these, they're an expense. And I know in retirement, a lot of people have a tendency to want to save more and be frugal with expenses, which, I mean, that makes sense. But I believe these could be worth it and could actually just give you more, give you more return than what it costs to have them. So welcome back, or if I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller and I own Streamline Financial with Tim and Luke and Sean, and we specialize in retirement planning. If you've been working with an advisor for some time, but they're more focused just on the investments and they don't specialize in retirement withdrawals or tax strategies, you can always reach out to us. If we've got space, we'd be happy to talk with you. So on to the first thing that you should have in retirement, and that is a health club membership. It might be expensive, but this can be one of the most important things that you own if you use it. Prior to retirement, it might have been harder to get to the gym just because of work and other things. But now, using some of that newly granted free time for fitness can really pay big dividends. I know a few clients who've said that they feel better now in their 60s, in their mid 60s, than they did in their early 50s, directly because they made exercise a habit in retirement. And doing this one thing can really improve all other areas of retirement and of life. We've seen the studies behind that. The next thing is something to own if you're looking for more of adventure or excitement in retirement. And it's not essential, but it's fun. It's something we've been using recently. And really, it's not just for retirees, but I think you'd really get a kick out of it. And I think it only costs $40 or so. It's called the Adventure Challenge Book. And we've been enjoying the family edition, but I know that they also have one for couples and they have one for singles, and I think a few other versions out there. Each page is really a new mini adventure that you scratch off. You don't know what it is until you scratch it off, and then you complete it right at that moment. We've seen, as a family, we've been enjoying it a lot. So I wanted to share it with you. And again, not essential for retirement, but it just could be a fun thing to spice up a weekend if you're wondering what to do. The third thing is something that many couples decide to cut, or really they cut it in half in retirement, and that's just the number of cars that they have. Most couples maybe have 2. If you're in a relationship, and they decide to get by on 1 when they retire because they might not be commuting to their jobs anymore and they're not using their cars as much. So they start to just simplify and go down to 1. But I would at least think a little bit before you do that, because having a car really offers that freedom and flexibility. Really, you can get up and go when you want to, and you don't have to plan around certain schedules. So it does work, but maybe for the first few years, think about keeping 2 and just keeping that freedom and flexibility. Next is something that most people have before retirement, but once they get to retirement, they get rid of it, and that's an emergency fund. And I see the rationale behind not having an emergency fund in retirement, because you're starting to take withdrawals, and maybe you've set up your bucket strategy, but still it makes sense to have a separate emergency fund separate from your retirement income strategy, because the emergency fund is really just for the unexpected, the unplanned things, whereas your retirement income plan is more prepared and planned out for these regular expenses that are going to be occurring. If an emergency does happen, it's less likely to impact your plan if you've got that set aside money in the emergency fund. So having 3 to 6 months still of expenses set aside could still be a good idea in retirement. The next point is also related to fitness, but it's not the physical fitness, it's more mental fitness. And the thing to have here is enrollment in your local college, or maybe an online college. Most of the local colleges, they offer classes specifically for seniors at a very affordable rate. And I've heard that curiosity is really the fountain of youth, and staying challenged after your career is just so important for our brain, for our healthy brain. So finding the courses or topics that interest you could be a good idea. You might even meet people who are interested in the same things as you and start to increase social ties to other people. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please like and subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one. Take care.